if you think about the people who generally stand out in history, are they conformists or are they sort of contrarians? They're contrarians. I came to Berkeley wanting to be a business major. When I was in high school, I was very set, like many Asian Americans, to go to business school. I started taking Asian American studies and really learning our own community's history. And I remember talking to my friend Jeff Chang, the issue that he was really working on, which is around Asian admissions. And of course, the person who was really leading that effort on the faculty side was Lin-Chi Wong. Being exposed to that kind of thinking, but that kind of activism, being able to do something about it felt very empowering. My only formal relationship with CAA was working with Diane Chen and Ted Wong on the Wen-Ho Lee case. There were very few mainstream Asian American organizations that were working on that case. So CAA was one of them, Asian Law Caucus was one of them, but all the DC groups got scared by the Clinton administration. Wen-Ho Lee and his family didn't really know where to turn. Some of their family friends were out here in the Bay Area, and they were just, regular immigrant Chinese American professionals who didn't know anything about organizing or working on a particular issue, started advocating for him to get a fair trial, advocating for him. Is just a reminder that ordinary people can get extraordinary results. When I was working at the Asian Law Caucus, always thinking about what were we doing for the community that didn't really have a voice, wasn't really seen. I always felt very much part of the community and very much wanted to stay in the community. Now I know I had a different role I needed to play. When you're doing a state budget, you can make investments in your community, but they have to be something that the entire Democratic caucus is for and willing to invest in. Their opening salvo was, I think we can do $5 million, right? So we can do $5 million to stop AAPI hate for the Asian American community. And this is someone who was Asian American, someone who's, a friend to our community and someone who's active in our community. In my head, I was thinking that I didn't need that person's help to move $5 million. For that very, very first year, we got $166.5 million for the AAPI equity budget. And eventually we increased it to almost $200 million over 4 years. It just demonstrated we accept way too little for the work that we're doing, as if our community is not as important as other communities. What's disappointing to me is, even though I'm teaching in a university that is almost 30-40% Asian American, I have very few Asian American students. The Asian American students are in the sciences, or they're in engineering, or they're all pre-law. They're not looking at policy issues. Activism is not valued. It's not what your parents tell you growing up to go do. This is something that we have to come to grips with, whether we really want to stand up and be heard and be respected. That's why groups like CAA are so important, because they are in it for the long run and they've been doing the hard work on the ground, raising these issues, organizing on these issues. So many people who were so gung-ho about making sure that there was equity are now running to be the first ones to delete equity. The mission of CAA, fighting for our community, fighting for our civil rights, being a clarion voice in a very dark time, providing that light is more important than ever.